What's up, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box and Lady of the Long Box to the CovrPrice comic book shakers of the week. I hope you guys are enjoying your week so far. It's been a sweltering one all across the U.S., and I just came from Palm Springs, and boy, it is absurdly hot. But while you guys are sitting around and congregating, we got to play some freestyle music for you because it's Freestyle Friday, right? Let's get right to it, man. Let's bust out some DJ Fresh style.
The baddest on the microphone apparatus is here. When I rock a rhyme, often eyes are dropping a tear. It's so beautiful, it's America's landscapes when this man makes lyrics like the syrups that you pour upon your pancakes. My mandate is to grip minds like a handshake. Spit Orlando Lakes and go skinny dip with the fan base. Over any damn breakbeat, I hastily make pastries tastier than anything that Wolfgang makes. So take notes out of suckers, I make coats, lump of some like Bubba Gump, fishing on lake boats. I take jokes and turn the comedy into drama. I'm bagging on your mama, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer. Behind ya, I'm a rhyme writer. Lock, stock, smoking the ganja. Rebuttals befuddle, leaving a puddle of saliva, sillies. You couldn't handle Randall when I throw my grammar at you. It hit your head and you would think I threw a hammer at you. I point the camera at you like Herb Ritz. Develop it, then use the pictures to pick up bird shits. You're nervous as the impervious wordsmiths hanging out in Rafa's new crib come with the verses.
That's no party to shake a party till you get some Jimmy Woo in there. We got my man JB back as usual. Otto making his guest appearance, and Laura, first time on the Shaker Show.
Oh, you're right. This is my first one.
First time.
First appearance, right? First appearance.
Yay!
No, hey, mark it as a collector's item right there, man.
That's right.
So,
it's a bookmark.
That's right, boys and girls. So, interesting factoid: both Otto and Laura used to be or in the teaching profession.
That's it. That's it. I still am.
Yeah.
I start Monday. Summer's over. My God, that's it. Coming to an end.
Can I tell
high
people
school special
that
ed.
you told us, Laura, offline?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I found it hard to believe that Laura was a teacher at 20 years old to high school seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Right.
They must have been a hell to deal with. But look at where you are now. Bird City
It's a
Comics. You
world.
congratulations, by the way, on the 8 Billion Genies showing up on the Recalled Comics website for Rare Comics. That is no small feat in itself. Of all variants, your book is on there, so congratulations. But
Thank you.
I digress. Everybody knows you can find Laura on Nearing Nirvana and the Ladies of the Long Box every Tuesday at 6 p.m. So, but she was having a great success. We had some people that had to bow out, but you're like, Laura's and the Ladies of the Long Box. We
I'm
move
always
on with things.
city invite. It's always like, oh, we can't find anybody. Let's ask Laura.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll have to bump somebody. Then.
Laura,
Sorry,
I don't get
JD.
asked. I just show up. So
I'm gonna start
Like,
this.
I wasn't even supposed to be here. I just morphed in here.
That's like Clerks. I wasn't even supposed to be here. It's
I'm not
today's
supposed
my
to be here
day off. This show is sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice. This list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily Shakers list. So this list changes several times every day. Make sure you check it out to view some of the hottest trending books on the market. Let's get right to it, boys and girls. This is AKA the Ofer list, although you may have one or two. If there's some other ones on there, I definitely proof of life. Like this one. What do we got for the first one?
Yeah, I'd need proof of life on this one. First up on the list, we've got 3D Batman, issue number 1, originally published in 1953 from DC Comics. While three-dimensional technology has been around since the mid-1800s, 3D comics became popular in the 1950s with the release of the world's first 3D comic in 1953, aptly named Three-Dimensional Comics number 1 by St. John Publishing. The book sold 2.5 million copies at 25 cents a piece when most comics were selling for 10 cents at the time. So, of course, other publishers followed suit with their own versions. Now, 3D comic book creator Joe Kubert and Norman Maurer had spent a hefty amount to patent their exclusive 3D process, but it didn't matter. DC Comics tweaked their system just enough to bypass the patent, thereby creating their own 3D process just a few months later. Now, DC first launched their 3D comic line with three-dimensional comics Superman, and shortly after that same year, this issue of 3D Batman. Now, the cover is a redrawing of Detective Comics issue number 231, with an internal story reprinting The Fowls of Fate from Batman issue number 48. Tommy Tomorrow, the interplanetary Aquaman from Action Comics number 127, and the Robot Robbers from Batman issue number 42. Now, other publishers followed DC's strategy by also creating their own versions of 3D glasses, all without having the license of Kubert and Maurer's method. This made a tremendous amount of money for all the various publishers, while leading to St. John Publishing, the company that first hired Matt Baker, to close its comic company just 2 years later. Now, this historical comic sold this week for an all-new high of $1,000 for a raw VF copy. Not that bad of a price for an important part of comic history.
So I see Matt's in the live chat. Is this the same Kubert from the Kubert School of Art? Because it's Kubert, or as Otto would say,
That's right.
Kubert.
Kubert.
Kubert. I wonder if that's the same Kubert that did the school. But anyway, just look at the 3D glasses, though, dude. How dope are those? Do you remember when
Those
they
are
used to be like
sweet.
one red and one green? I have one 3D comic, actually. It's a romance comic that a dealer just gave me. He goes, I think you'll dig this. I go, okay. And it's like a 50s style romance comic, but in 3D. And, I never thought anything of it back then. But, nowadays people are crazy for little novelty items like this. So there you go. So 3D Batman, issue number 1 from 1953, $1,000 in a raw VF. What do we got next? This is maybe a chance for you to get on the list if you're really a
Maybe.
hardcore Rogues fan, maybe.
Yeah, but you'd have to have proof of life on this one too, because we're going back, man. We're going back to 1944, and we're talking about All American Comics number 61. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. You know the rest of it. Too many of these words bring back vivid memories of a long-time villain, sometimes anti-hero in the DC universe. Many may remember the characters for his pitched battles with Superman, Batman, across multiple animated series. First appearing in this book as a villain of Green Lantern, Solomon Grundy quickly made a name for himself as an unkillable being who sometimes rivaled Superman in power. His origin not necessarily clear either, as his life before being reanimated has never really been nailed down. Regardless, he's an awesome character. He's a fan favorite of many, leading one such fan to lay down a fat stack of cash to acquire the first appearance of a 1.8 CGC, topping off at $8,500. This book rarely comes up for sale, but recent sales, by recent we mean 2021, and before that 2015, a 3.0 topped out at $7,100. An amazing jump from an amazing character that dates back to the golden age. While he may be ancient, Solomon Grundy is still popular, appearing in many comic books, animated form, live action in the Arrowverse and Gotham. Here's to many more years of Mr. Grundy right here, man. Look at this.
My first introduction to Solomon Grundy was the Super Friends. Right? Yeah, when it was part of the Legion of Doom, right? That was like my first introduction to a lot of them. There was the seasons before the twins got in there were really good.
Yeah.
And then
no love for the twins? Come on.
Well,
no. So much so that even that show got canceled too, or that movie or whatever project got canceled. All American Comics issue number 61 from October 10th, 1944. That's man. Just think in 1944 they're already on 61 issues. All right. Laura wanted this book specifically because she wanted to talk about Bone, so you got it.
Wow. All right. Bone number 2. This is from 1991, published by Cartoon Books. Netflix drop from the production schedule was a severe blow to both Bone fans and creator Jeff Smith. Smith was so frustrated with the process that he has sworn off any future content deals. This has left little hope for Bone content in the near future. While this would mean the deaths of many optioned independent comics, prices for this beloved series are still hitting new highs. For example, this lesser talked about second issue is just as difficult to find and hit a new high sale this week of $895 for a CGC 9.4. This proves that some comics can eclipse content deals.
That's amazing. I mean, when him swearing off any deal at all made people like, I really want to collect this. I mean, the only other comic I can recall that's, that doesn't want a deal is Saga. Saga, famously, the creator said, I think it's Saga, right? The space opera, the comic, the Saga. I think the creative team famously said, like, the only way we develop our movie, our comic to a live action if Wes Anderson did it. And obviously, if you know anything about Wes Anderson, that's not, he doesn't do anything remotely close to it. So that's their way of saying, no, we're never going to do it. And quite frankly, it's for the better probably. But after seeing shows like Sandman and Paper Girls, it's like things that used to be undevelopable are developable now. Did I just make up a word? Well, I did. Okay, I made up a word. Things that were considered at one point, things that were considered, you couldn't make live action. They're doing it now, and it's kind of amazing. So, Bone number 2 from Cartoon Books from 1991, $895 for CDC 9.4. Here's another Proof of Life book I need.
Yeah, this is definitely over. But before I get to this one, real quick, shout out to everybody in the live chat. If you're enjoying tonight's show, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up and shout out to tonight's writers over at CovrPrice. You are fantastic. Next up, we've got Dolman, issue number 16, originally published in 1997 from Dolman Editorial. Interesting. Now, this foreign book from Spain is a tough book to find for Adam Hughes fans. In fact, this is one of the hardest ones to find and can easily fetch top dollar like it did this week at $800 for a CGC 8.0. Now, it doesn't hurt that it was also well timed with a fan favorite death from Sandman cover. Despite this book's rarity, it actually originated from a much less rare issue of A Death Gallery that sells for like $8 raw in the same condition. So that's like a much better deal, right? Though having this image on a cover does present quite nicely in a slab.
Yeah, so obviously they got their inspiration from the character Death in the comics, who is kind of gothic looking, I guess you could say, black hair, white skin. So I can see where they can get the comparisons to that. But 1997, people doing homages, that's pretty cool, man. So Dolman, Dolman. I don't know. It's Spanish, so I don't even know if it's right. But
No, for
Dolman number 16 from 1997, a CGC 8.0 for $800. Wow, that's amazing. All right, this book I've known about, but I don't know too many people who actually have it though.
Right, we've talked about this a few times over. Eminem, the Punisher, Double XL number 1, the Salvador La Roca, not for resale promo. Obviously, somebody resold it. So Eminem is a huge comic fan, has specifically mentioned his love for the Punisher. After a 3-year break from music, in his 2009 comeback was celebrated in Hip Hop Magazine Double XL with a special Eminem collector's edition. It featured a flip cover with 2 different images, both featuring Eminem dressed up as the Punisher, and the Inside magazine has a special Eminem Punisher comic and the story titled Eminem/Punisher Kill You. It's important to note that this is not an insert and is printed directly within the magazine. While that sold for a notable raw fine copy this week for $311, we wanted to highlight that the even rarer, not for resale promotional comic that was printed separately as a stand comic. This week, a copy of $1,895 for a CGC 9.8, one of only 25 9.8s on the CGC census. This is a must-have for an Eminem and Punisher fan. Holy cow. We've been talking about this book for many years on Lords, man. This is a ghost.
That's a good one.
I've seen this like once in person. I've seen it at my LCS once. Yeah. Famously, if you Google it, Eminem's like road manager had talked about how big of a comic book fan is, and like he has like an Amazing Fantasy 15. And you think of to us like, you know, a comic book for 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. That's nothing compared if you're a celebrity, right? To go in there and drop coin on, you know, what we considered a holy grail of comic books. But, you know, to have yourself on a comic book, come on now. That sounds like TiVo on a cover of Dreamwalker. But neither nor there. So Eminem, Punisher XXL number 1. Salvador La Roca, not for resale promo in 2009, sold for $18.95 and 9.8. Good God. I feel sorry for anyone who's entering the. Okay. This one, if you have it, I will give you Otto's left nut. And he only has.
So let's not do that.
We're volunteering Otto's nut for this one.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
We don't want to hear that.
Mickey Mouse book. Let's see here. Bebo and Lang was the publisher back in 1930. Perhaps one of the most recognizable properties in the world. Mickey Mouse is the centerpiece of the Disney empire. This book is an extremely rare piece of Disney history. Originally released and given away at cinemas as a promotional item, the book became so immensely popular that a second printing was released just a few months later. It contains several short stories and original art, as well as a page that can be cut out to play a board game. Additionally, and most importantly, the first printing has the words "kill him" when singing about a villain. Subsequent printings of this book removed the "kill him" from the printed lyrics. Disney fans love when the company falls off the family-friendly track, making those items highly collectible, i.e. Roger Rabbit on Laserdisc due to cut Jessica Rabbit scenes, etc. On August 18th, a huge raw sale brought this book to a brand new high of $3,000.
That seems like a steal to me. I'm sorry.
What?
1930?
1930, right? That is a steal.
$3,000. That's ridiculous. I mean, apparently, this is before Steamboat Willie, or somebody had told me that Steamboat Willie is actually public domain, so anybody can use it. I don't know the veracity or how accurate that is, but just like Winnie the Pooh is back into the public domain. You know that, right? And they're making a Winnie the Pooh slasher film.
But it doesn't have to be a different it has to look different from the Disney version. So if you use Winnie the Pooh, you can't tell a Disney story kind of
multiple. If I was a studio,
could make I could Winnie the Pooh a slasher now or something, but nothing that's
like they don't
Disney related.
Because a lot of Disney stuff wasn't originally Disney stuff, right? Pinocchio was a lot of Hans Christian Andersen stories. A lot of these original stories. Snow White. They've been around forever, and they were kind of dark. If you think about Peter Pan, that wasn't originally Disney, and the Lost Boys were all dead. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It gets a little dark in some places. Speaking of which, Go check out the Pinocchio live action trailer. If it doesn't give you the feels, then you're dead inside. I say it now. It's gonna be released on September 8th, and Pinocchio, and it gets you right in the feels, man, just like the Dumbo film did. But Mickey Mouse book, first print from Bebo and Lang from 1930, $3,000. As far as on the CovrPrice website, there's only 2 known sales that I could track. So good luck finding this, man. All right, here's a good chance for you to get on the board, I think.
Definitely, because I got one of these. Next up, Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 1, the second print, originally published in 2014. Now, late printings bring up a lot of debate for modern comic collectors. While many traditionalists continue to view them as inferior, many collectors are now aggressively chasing them due to their very small print runs. A CGC 9.8 of Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 second printing sold this week for a record $1,400.
Damn!
Sorry. Orders for this book were so small that they were not picked up by Comic-Con. There are currently 42 total graded copies on the CGC census, with 27 of them, one of them's mine, graded at 9.8. Now, the Fiona Staples 1 in 50 variant of this issue is currently Miles Morales' second most expensive book, selling for nearly $6,000 at 9.8, with 169 total copies on the census. Collectors continue to prove that scarcity is a major driver of where they spend their comic book dollars.
So the interesting thing about this one is this is Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, not to be confused with Ultimate Spider-Man, which was the ultimate version of Spider-Man, which later on became just Ultimate Spider-Man, and then I'm sorry, but either way, Miles Morales is one of the few characters that comes over from the Ultimate universe into the Marvel 616, and the difference is on the multiple printings on this one is at the bottom. The stripe at the bottom where the UPC code is different colors. And that's how you can tell the different prints. Yeah. When we go on to the CovrPrice website, I'll try to bring this up. But it's telling you, man, I've been saying ad nauseum, when Miles Morales live action, when people see it for these books are going to go crazy and deservedly so. Acetate free, I might say.
Oh,
what do we got for the next one?
Man, we were 20 minutes into it without hearing that word.
Did I say that? I'm sorry. I gotta give a special shout out to the acetate covers. There you go. Sorry about that. We go from Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man second print 2014. What do we got? Oh, this is definitely an offer.
This is an offer.
It wouldn't be a Shaker Show if we didn't do some type of like EC horror or video game book.
Yeah, and this is going to take me an hour to read, so everybody buckle in. All right. Sonic the Hedgehog number 1 promo, Sega 1991. Many remember the good old times of yesteryear when fans lined up at midnight to acquire a specific game or receive promo material for their purchase. At that, that experience has faded now from the zeitgeist, I can't even say that word, in favor of digital editions and overwhelming zeitgeist. Yes, thank you. Overwhelming supply, making midnight releases relatively obsolete. We as a community still have holdovers. Sonic is an iconic character, and fans were excited to pick up the flagship character of Sega's first outing in the fall of 1991. Some received a special prize with their purchase, which just so happens to be this book, that also features the first appearance of Sonic. Not to be confused with issue number 1, which is a 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 mini comic that was released to drum up interest in the game and character. This book was a freebie, easily identified as it features advertisement at the top of the cover and with much less cover. It was 6.5 by 10 newsprint promotional giveaway with pre-orders from the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. This promo also appeared as an insert in various DC comic books like Justice League Europe 33, go on eBay right now, which has led to a variety of poor condition copies. Well, Sonic is still going strong, and a fan couldn't help but return it to where it all started. A fan with deep pockets dropped $1,000 on a CGC 9.9, and a 9.8 can be had for as little as $100. But a 9.9 for a 30-year-old free comic book is just unheard of. Issue number 1 still gets most of the love, as it is known as the first appearance of Sonic due to having the roughed date of fall and autumn of 1991. And this promotional version having no date, despite the cover price date on both issues matching each other. But one can luckily fan out that there are many different thoughts on the matter and put their money up to prove it. Holy cow, look at that. That's a lot.
When I was I was never really a Ute, but in 1991, I was 21.
You
20.
were
I was
20. You were 20 like me.
20 years old, right? But Nintendo was the king, right? You wanted Super Nintendo so you could play Street Fighter and everything, and Sega was like, came in at a distant second, right? And then there was the Revolution. Who can forget the commercials that they used to air on TV? That used to go Sega, right? For those who remember, I always talk about this documentary. It's like it's about the history of video games, and it talks about how the guys at Sega in the US, how they kind of had to come in and try to overtake Nintendo, and and now look at it. There's Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and apparently people like them. So you never know, man. So Sonic the Hedgehog #1, a promo issue from 1991, sold for $1,000 for a really, really big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Wow. Okay. This is another great book here.
All right, we got Star Wars Legacy #1, Volume 2. This is a WonderCon Anaheim variant from Dark Horse, published in 2013. For more than 20 years, Dark Horse owned the Star Wars publishing license, which produced classic series such as Knights of the Old Republic, Dark Empire, and X-Wing Rogue Squadron. Unfortunately, when Disney purchased Marvel, the publishing rights reverted back to Marvel in 2014, and all of the stories were deemed non-canon, with the exception of Darth Maul, son of Dathomir. Before Dr. Aphra became a breakout female character on the Star Wars universe, Anya Solo came on the scene in Star Wars Legacy Volume 2 and was a descendant of Han and Leia. Although she is not considered canon at the moment, she is still a fan favorite, as evidenced by an enormous sale of a 9.8 on August 19th of this year. Going for, let's see, $1,499 for this variant. Could Anya Solo make a comeback with Dark Horse resuming the publishing of Star Wars?
Yeah, that would be dope. I mean, for the longest time, so when Disney bought Star Wars, they pretty much said everything going forward is considered canon. Everything prior to that is considered what do they call it? The expanded universe or Legends universe, right? But when Filoni came aboard, he took and blurred those lines and took them totally away by bringing in characters from what we would consider Legacy or the extended universe and bring them into live action, which is kind of Heir to the Empire is a perfect example, right?
Heir to the Empire. That's right.
Heir to the Empire, right? I mean,
right.
Grand Admiral Thrawn was from Dark Horse. That was a Dark Horse comics book, and he's going to be appearing in the next season of The Mandalorian, or excuse me, Ahsoka Tano. Eventually, I mean, I'm glad I have my 9.8 because I'm holding on to that bad boy. As soon as he shows up in his big blue, beautiful face, I was thinking.
Don't forget, double first appearance in that one with Mara Jade. So soon,
Yeah, fun fact, if I don't know, King of Golden State is in there, but this is I believe the second year that WonderCon was in Anaheim. So the first year I was there, and because I had to look on my Facebook page, I posted pictures. I went to WonderCon in 2012, and it was the first year they went there, and it was supposed to be just temporary because WonderCon used to be a show up in San Francisco, I think at the Cow Palace or the Moscone Center, one of the two, and it was getting remodeled.
The Cow Palace is a dump.
Yeah, so it was getting remodeled, so they moved the show down to the Anaheim Convention Center, which is smacking brand new. And prior to that, I'm sorry if I go on a tangent here, there used to be a show called the Anaheim Comic-Con, which I went to in 2011. So when I went in 2012, I said WonderCon. I said, wow, they moved down here, and then they never moved back to San Francisco. So bad for them, good for us. And back then, when I went to WonderCon in 2012, it was relatively small. But I mean, how cool is it to get an exclusive like this? I mean, it was so small that I have a picture of. I'm looking at the pictures now. Yeah. I mean, there was just some really cool stuff. I think that's when I first met Dustin Wynn too. Was at that show. So, but now, dude, WonderCon is absolutely bonkers. It's huge. It's a giant show. But I remember it in its infancy for you old school cats out there. So, Star Wars Legacy #1, the WonderCon Anaheim variant. I mean, if you notice, it still says WonderCon Anaheim on it. You know, now it just says WonderCon because everybody associates it with it. You know, they don't have to say WonderCon. You know, Anaheim, kind of like Wizard World LA or Wizard World Chicago or something like that. But I digress. Let's get on to the next one because it's not about me and my experiences in life. Okay. Stop it. All right. This one is cool. What do we got for the last one?
All right. The last one on the list, we've got Storm, issue #3, the Stephanie Hans 1/25 variant, originally published in 2014 from Marvel Comics. Rarity, age, a hot artist, and a popular character are the perfect recipe for a price hike when a copy hits the aftermarket and finds that right buyer desperate enough to end their search by paying top dollar for one. That's exactly what this hard-to-find Storm variant by Stephanie Hans did this week, selling for a new high sale of $300 raw. With an estimated print run of 22,078, this 1/25 shouldn't be as rare as it is. However, copies are scarce, supported by 4 previous sales ranging in price from $90 to $175. This is a fun book to treasure hunt for, as copies are out there just sitting in back issue bins waiting for you to pick them up.
So in 2014, we started coming out of the dark ages of the comics. When I say that, I mean, you know, from like 2000 to like 2004, 2005, 2007, it was like the comics had really not blown up. You know, movies didn't affect, you know, how people, you know, got comics. And then what changed for me was first The Walking Dead. That series came out, and I gobbled it up before because I knew there was a show coming. And then the Ultimate Universe, which kind of reimagined everything. And then that's when I started, you know, collecting again. I mean, I've been collecting off and on since I was in 6th grade. If collecting means stealing comics from 7-Eleven, then I was collecting comics since the 6th grade. So it's going full blown. And Stephanie Hans is one of my favorite artists. So hey, your better half in here, or is that
no, that's Anthony. He wants JB to narrate his life.
Nice.
Hey, he do it for you, man. I'm a little offended that I can't do it. Mine is more sadistic in my voice, but so that's it, boys and girls. But don't go away. We're gonna see what's shaking today. I don't know if you can stick around on that round or not, Laura. Do you want to see what's shaking today?
I'm staying
all
here.
right, well, all right, cool. Because this is our best part when I do the
seamless transition.
But
the seamless transition that he's talking through right now, because he forgot about seamlessly transitioning about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, but for you guys that are Stephanie Hans fans, this is only 4 years into when she really started doing books. You got to realize, like, this was early stuff for her, man. So that's pretty wild.
All right, hold on.
Where's the
Skadoosh.
There it is.
Hold on a second. If you've been hearing music in the background, yes, I've been playing music. Check this out. And you can still hear us.
Good old StreamYard.
Yeah. By the way, this is a little side note. You know, I'm a big DJ fanatic, and I used to be a DJ. And the crossroads of my comic and DJing world came together when I was talking about Cameron Paul. And Cameron Paul was a really famous remixer DJ, passed away from the Bay Area. And he worked at the company called Mix It Productions. And he goes, "Hey, I heard you're Cameron Paul fan." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I have the entire library." I go, "Get the fuck out of here, really?" So he sent it to me. I have every single Mix It record remix that they've ever done. For all you DJ heads out there, probably, and everybody else is like, "Stop wasting our time, Tim." But anyway, focus. Yeah. But anyway, let's see what's shaking today, boys and girls. Oh, I don't have anything in the top row. I'm very disappointed in myself.
Ooh, shut out in the top row. But we got to check out some of these comics. Yeah, I want to see the World's Finest over there next to the hole. See how ridiculous this cover is. What are they selling for $100? Oh, that wasn't it.
Look at that.
Poor Robin. He's like, oh man, you ain't got no weight. And look at the look on Superman's face. Oh man, that is messed up. Poor Robin. It's just your 5. Wow. 9.6 sold for $5,700.
Yeah, but look at that. From 1946 to have a book around that long. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's Time Machine.
Time Machine.
Janet Jackson playing
How
in
do
the
you get
background.
that? How do you have a 1946
Time Machine.
book in 9.6?
Time Machine. People out there have a time machine. I'm telling you. The lizard people live among us. Hey, I got one in the second row. This is the book that Ryan has.
Yeah,
This
Ryan
is
has
the
that.
young. Yeah. Nothing really kind of jumps out here. Well, actually, let me look at this one. This one looks fun. Tales to Astonish number 63.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I feel like popping right now. First full appearance of the leader. Yeah, the dude with a big ass head, man. $24.95 for a 9.2, August 24th, 2022.
I actually just picked this up in a small collection that I bought with a bunch of Tales to Astonish. This is a fun read.
Really?
Yeah. It gets into his origin really well. It's a good read. Pretty good book.
I got a lot of Tales to Astonish. I don't think I have anything over a 3.0. I feel like every single Tales to Astonish I have is beat to hell.
Well, man, you can say it's beat to hell or it's been loved.
Been well read.
Yeah.
Very
Feel free to jump in anytime you want, Laura, to see if there's anything that
I'm
pops.
seeing if there's anything that I have so far, but I'm like, no.
No, you could just or something you like. Like, I want to look at this. I don't have this, but this looks dope. Oh, look at that cover. This is from Dark Horse. This is Star Wars Jedi versus Sith, the Dynamic Forces variant, limited to 2,500. God, that's a huge print run compared to nowadays.
Why is it a key?
First appearance of Darth Bane, not in canon because this is a Dynamic or is it a Dark Horse comic? Yeah. 1,500 for a 9.6. I'm telling you, and Nemesis Prime could attest.
I got a few of those.
Of course,
Did he already say that? I didn't even look in the live chat. Yeah, you know what? Why don't you send some to your friend, man? Jeez, I got this X-Men book. Little Rhino.
Now let's go back up to that X-Men book real quick because I just want to bring this up because
I'm sorry.
When I was growing up, X-Men '94 was the book to have. Giant size X-Men was not the book to have when I was. That was the book to have. X-Men '94
right after
was the book to have.
Good.
Yeah, this is an iconic cover. And I remember getting it signed and by Stan Lee and Chris Claremont, and Stan Lee signed in the Blackbird, the Black Jet, so you can barely see anything. But this is the first appearance is really Giant Size X-Men, but then this is the first appearance of the new team in the title. Second appearance is Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Thunderbird, and third appearance Wolverine. And then I think Thunderbird died in the next issue, but $12.50 for an 8.0. But I agree, JB, this was the book to have.
That was
X-Men
the book
94.
to have growing up. It wasn't Giant Size. It was that one.
Yeah. What were you saying, Laura?
I was saying this next row, I actually own a couple. Go down.
Okay.
Oh, down here?
Yeah. So we
Let me
have
guess this one, right?
Yeah, but
Batman
I have the Miller. And that's it on that row.
Dark Knight Returns, yeah.
But I didn't zero out. Which one do you own? It says you own one.
I own this in a 7.5. I have the first appearance of Silver Surfer. Yeah. Let me take a look at this one. I love this Justice League cover, by the way. One of my Crisis on Earth 1. First Silver Age appearance of Our Man, Dr. Fate, Icicle and Wizard. Earth 1 first named. $9.75 and an 8.5.
That's a great grade at a great price for that book.
For a book that came out in 1963, this looks like it's newer. You know what I mean? It doesn't. In the 60s, in the early 60s, they had a certain aesthetic. I mean, this one, it almost looks like it pushed up to like the late 60s, early 70s. But just classic. Justice League of America logo on it. I love it. I love it. Oh, there's that Red Hulk. Here's some more Star Wars. Hey, I have 2 Ultimate Fallouts, non-acetate even.
It's affordable. It's been coming down in price big time. I mean, you got to think that book topped out 9.8 at about $4,000. during the height
Here's
of the
a-
height of the height.
Here,
Now
I
it's
think here's
down
a
to
book you
29.
guys should be looking out for, since that they're on Netflix. The Netflix guys are all on Disney Plus now. That it's only a matter of time you're going to see Luke Cage, on a proper MCU project, right? $900 and an 8.0. Do you remember when the Luke Cage series first was announced on Netflix? This book was fetching big bucks, big.
What's its
bucks.
all-time
But
high? Slide down
I'll
for
tell
its
you right
all-time
now,
high.
man. 31 grand and 9.8, 2019.
Whoa.
Yep. Well, it has. This is that classic. What are these called? These
Marvel frames. And
yeah,
it was
Marvel
only done
frame
during
covers.
the,
Yeah, but the
1972 and
edges
early
on it are all
1973.
black. Yeah, the edges on it are all black, which really makes it a pain. Like the highest grade I had on this was, I think 8.0. And I sold it. But maybe now it's time to reacquire. This is one of my favorite books in my collection that I'll probably never sell. This, to me, this is a piece of art. Right here, Silver Surfer #4. First battle of Silver Surfer versus Thor, classic cover by John Buscema. First interior art by Sal Buscema. So a brother's working on it. So a raw fine comic in the 5.0 to 6.5 range. So for $818. And if you guys see this little thing now, it's because for these books that are sold in the aftermarket that are raw, Matt and his team do their due diligence to find out, what the grade is. If you see it says no grade, then that just means it's one of those guys that says, I'm not a professional grader. Look at it. Or they'll say high grade or something like that. But other eBay sellers who know what they're doing, they were like, this is between a 5.0 or a 6.5 or whatnot. But, it's still subjective. Obviously,
I know.
God damn, 9.8 sold for
potentially
90 grand.
Consumer of the data, but there are other data points besides eBay, so they are calling that information for that grade in a raw sale. And now
there's 4 of them. I can't say who they are, but just you can imagine it, and it's not Whatnot, because they can't really verify those sales, and just think about auction houses, stuff like that. I won't say it. I don't want to get myself in trouble, but God damn, 90 grand and 9.8.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is a square bound book too, so it's a rough customer.
Rough. It's so easy to get a low grade because of us.
I'm still waiting for my Mephisto to pop. I think everybody's waiting for their Mephisto to pop. 55 grand and a 9.8. Holy cow. When Mephisto comes, he's gonna bring all hell with him. See what I did there? You know us. We gotta bring up these goofy comics. Look at this. Tip Top Comics, 6 pages of Tarzan.
Ooh.
$800 and a CCC 6.5. Oh, wow, you don't see that.
38.
Yeah. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is Barry Windsor Smith. Look at the art in this.
Marvel frame cover.
So I have a funny story about this. Is I bought this at a used bookstore. Right. And they just had like this little section of comics that were just sitting there. And most of them are just useless. Right. And they're like, a bunch of weird comic titles here, there, and everything. They had a nice little run of Conan. So I was like, I got to get this. Look at that. Barry Windsor Smith, man. Oh, so dope, man. Beautiful. Love it. Ghost Rider. Actually, I have 2 now. I should update it because I posted it for multiple comics.
Show everybody how easy it is to add to your collection.
Hold on, let me go. Actually, remember what grade it's in. Hold on a second, because I posted it on my Instagram. The funny thing about Ghost Rider, and so I have an 8.0 and I have an 8.5. So let's see, the one that I own. Here's a little tutorial for you all.
What you own is
an 8.5. And I also I've now have an 8. What I say?
Oh, at 8.0 and 8.0.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to collection. I'm gonna say it's actually CBCS. My bad. Sorry. But, what are you gonna do? And it's an 8.0. Just click on add, and booyah! Now I have 2.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Piece of cake.
piece of cake.
It's full. Yeah.
And his overall value of the collection has already been updated. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I won't show you that,
Yeah, don't show off.
Gotta look at this, man. Is this Frazetta? I think it's Frazetta.
Good googly goo.
I love. There was a time where I was really digging like fantasy art. So Vampirella issue number 5 from Warren Comics, $670 in a 9.4. But I mean, let's just spend a little time here and just scroll through some of these covers, and you see, everybody always say like, look at that, dope. People always say, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? I have this too, by the way.
Look at that.
Oh shit! Where?
That's a
Let me
key.
go back. Let me go back to this and add this to my collection since it's not in there. It's raw.
Seamless.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a pretty good grader, so I'm gonna say it's a 8.0. Yeah, boom, add it, and then let's go back. This is the only book that I'm really out looking for right now. This classic Vampirella #1. This is the book that escapes me. It's my my Moby Dick, or is it my whatever that freaking saying is, that guy Ahab chasing the whale.
The white whale.
You're my white whale. There you go.
It's
Thank
the
you,
white
man.
whale.
I was searching for the literary reference, and I was like,
got
where
you,
is it?
don't
Where is
worry.
it? Whoa, now look at that. X-Men. I got my X-Men hot. I had 2 copies of this and I sold it. Ugh, it sucks.
I think I have a couple of those actually.
Actually, let me see if I can find something that I sold. And you can tell, and you can actually, on CovrPrice, you can actually say sold, and you can actually say how much you sold it for,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Tim, go to the Teen Titans book. That book is a ghost. That book is an absolute ghost. I think that's early Adam Hughes. That was a 1 in 25.
Yep. Adam Hughes,
book
1 in
is a
25.
ghost.
$600 and 9.6.
That's cheap if you can find it. If you can find it.
Gorgeous artwork. When is Teen Titans coming back? It seems like it's been
Soon.
like forever.
Well, they just did it. It was on the preview before Game of Thrones, but that's just what they always do.
Yeah. Oh, look at this goofy.
Is that Pickle Man?
Wonder Man and the Invasion from Saturn. What did you call him?
Pickle Man. He looks like a giant pickle.
Exactly. Probably, man. It probably is Pickle Man. Because early Wonder Woman was full of phallic type things, so I wouldn't imagine a pickle, phallic, and everything else. Hey, now, it's moving up in the world.
We were just talking about Saga. Oh,
The Mole.
Yeah. So this is a real one. Ultimate Fallout, Spider-Man No More, La Mole Con foil variant. Reprints first appearance of Miles Morales, $504 and 9. Hey, do not sleep on these La Mole Con foil variants. I have the first null in a 9.8. So look out for those. I mean, people side collecting all the time now, man. You know what? I know what this is. I didn't even know there was a comic on this, or else I would have bought it, because there's a new Interview with a Vampire series that's coming out to streaming. From based on Anne Rice's novel, but I did not know there was a comic book for it. Sure enough, $500, 9.8. I'm telling you, if any show or movie gets developed, look and see if there was any comic book adaptation to it. I guarantee you that it's going to be worth some coinage. Let me look at this, because giant size. That's dope. Giant size werewolf, $470 and a 9.8.
Good luck getting that a 9.8 with the square bound.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
But I love those giant size issues. They don't do them more.
Whoa! Check out that Something Is Killing the Children. I have one of those, baby.
Is this Jenny Frison? Yep. Jenny Frison Comics and Oddities foil version, limited to only 3 hundo. Good Lord, have mercy. First appearance of Erica Slaughter. This is a perfect dope ass name. $450 in a 9.8. 963 is at the high point. Isn't this being developed, right? I mean,
Well, I don't think they're going to call it that, but maybe House of Slaughter or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, well, House of Slaughter was a follow-up, actually.
Well, just you can't have a show called Something's Killing Children.
That's very funny, JB. That was
Why not?
Come
All
on.
right, one more. Let's look at this goofy book. Web of Spider-Man number 36. First appearance of Tombstone.
I knew it was a minor key.
Good old Tombstone. 450 and a 9.8. Man, these are were I don't want to even
They were worthless, TiVo. Say it. They were worthless.
They were maybe
Tombstone?
$5, $10, but I meant the admin of social media and all the different sharing services and everything, things are changing. So boom, right at 6:55, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the Shaker Show. We always learn something. I mean, it's always great to see what people are out there collecting, and just it's a good reference to see what people are interested in, and it's a broad spectrum of stuff that people go all over across. You know what? I'm going to do one more. Let me go in honor of Laura. We're going to look up.
Look at that.
We're going to look up
one more book.
Oh, are we? Okay.
What book we're going to look up?
I wonder.
We're going to look up your book.
Yeah, sorry, I've been so quiet. I'm just listening to you guys talk. You guys are just like something else, man. There's so much information.
Sorry, we talk too much.
No, in a good way. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's like just hanging out, listening to you guys, especially JB.
Okay. So in honor of Laura and Bird City Comics.
There you go. Look at that.
Wow. This is the 8 Billion Genies Trish Forstner Bird City Super Mario 3 homage, limited to only 500.
Damn.
CDC 9.8 sold for $500.
Damn.
Highest known value, $800.
Look at that.
Congratulations to Bird City, Laura, and your team. You guys killed it, because not a lot of retail variants hit that spot, but you guys got the perfect artist, and you guys got the perfect cover, homage, that, the other. So
it all lined up. Thank you. All the stars came together on.
I hope you kept some copies for yourself, so when the series comes out.
I don't know if you guys can tell. Can you see on the shelf right there that stack?
Yeah.
Those are all 9/8s.
That's an investment.
Those are mine. I told Anthony, I'm not selling any of those for now. We only had like a couple raws left that we gave to our kids, which I'm debating taking back.
Yeah, bring it back.
I have to send you a private message about that, Laura. So you should have never told me that. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. But Otto, any last words?
No, it was great hanging out with everybody. I'm glad you let me in tonight, Tim. Sometimes I'm just sitting in the back, just waiting, for the door to open. So great seeing everybody. Laura, great talking to you. JB, as always. TiVo, great to see everybody in the chat. You guys head over to 3 Men in the Basement. I just dropped a little haul video. I did a little comic book hunt. Picked up 2 X-Men keys that I think is a good book you guys should be buying right now. Not telling you what to do with your money. I'm telling you what I do with my money. And just keep watching the channel. We're having a great time with it. So it's always great to hang out with the Lords tonight.
Thank you, Otto. JB, any last words?
Man, thanks for having me on. Another fantastic show, Laura. You were awesome. Otto, thank you. Check me out on Instagram. I've been actually doing some guest selling on some of these YouTube auctions and crushing it. You don't want to miss what I've been putting up. Just crazy fire.
And Laura, any last words?
No, make sure you guys are following Bird City on Instagram. We have 2 creep shows coming out tomorrow. We have a John Gallagher and an Ivan Tao, both launching tomorrow. So yeah, check it out. And thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Yeah. I'm going to send you a message about those as well. And, it always looks better when there's 4 people on screen, because it's, it's symmetrical, right? It's symmetrical. It's semblance. It's
happy I could fill a frame for you.
Yeah, you need to fill the frame, boys and girls. Good audio, good video, people chatting it up.
That's what I have YouTube channels. You got to remember that. Listen to Lord TiVo. He knows.
Yeah. We don't want to bore you or talk about. And Laura, when I watched your show yesterday, right after ours, and you were talking about some award thing. Don't even sweat it. Nobody cares.
I care. I was so salty. What
No,
did I miss?
no B.
Oh, nobody cares. It's those people care, but we know who we all are, so
Yep.
we don't care. You know
Right
what I
on,
mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
You're in with the cool kids. You're fine.
Remember, but
I'll take it.
it's not the IG family, it's the IG lords and ladies.
That's right.
So there you go. So hey, enjoy you guys' weekend. We'll see you guys Tuesday for the Cover Price Top 10. Till next time, boys and girls. As I get my thing here, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my god.
Hold on and get some, boys. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. Hold on and get some, boys.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?